Hey guys, and welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode here today, episode number 2. If you guys missed episode 1 in the F2 category and how we got to F1 and this particular point, if you want to watch the episode guys, it's linked in the top right hand corner of the screen and also in a link down below in the description. Go check out episode 1 guys before any further spoilers are revealed in this episode. It's a really good episode, but around 40 minutes long, and there's a lot of crazy action in that video guys, and also some really cool cutscenes which kind of set up the story mode going into F1 this year. So please watch that guys before coming back to this episode. Now in terms of this one, you can see here we arrive here in Australia and nice conditions all weekend long expected, as you saw a moment ago on the weather forecast. Also upgrade wise, you can see the current chart as things stand, and we are actually the fastest team. It's very close between us and Mercedes, very close, literally a hairline separates us. And also on this screen you can see at the bottom there that we're a little bit down on engine power with the powertrain, so we're going to have to try and upgrade that straight away, and durability is going to be a big factor as well in this season. Now, for a lot of you wondering in the comments, and also in the last episode asking me lots of things in the comments section below, Ferrari are the quickest at the minute, and that's the reason why. Is because when Codemasters do the performance for the cars, they base it off of preseason testing, and everybody thought this year that Ferrari were the team to beat in preseason. So that's the reason why Ferrari are quickest, and while Williams are not so far down, etc., while Alfa Romeo are so poor, you get the idea. So yeah, hopefully that'll be fixed in a patch, maybe a day one patch on the 28th or 25th, and if not, then hopefully shortly after, but hopefully that will get fixed. Nonetheless, though, we are here in beautiful sunny Melbourne, Australia here, and we're going to get underway for practice, first of all. The very first practice session of the season, my practice session, which is going to be a debut in the Ferrari car, and I'm looking forward to it, guys. I cannot wait, and at the time I was going in very green. This was, my first time playing the game, and I did a little bit of practice to get an idea of what I was dealing with. But overall, it was a learning experience, a real big learning curve. And this year's game, the cars do handle quite differently. And it's a bit of a tricky one to explain because they handle very similarly, but also very differently. What I mean by that is, if you've played F1 2018, this game won't feel overly different to you. But the changes they have made are very unnatural, and it's a bit of an adaptation process to really understand and really get comfortable with how the cars feel. And a big element of that is the removal of the ballast in the setups. No more ballast in the setup, therefore you have to try and make up for time elsewhere by changing other things in the setup, and that means for the car overall handling a little bit differently. You combine that with the 2019 regulations and the simpler front wings, and the car overall this year I'd describe it as a bit more understeery as a whole, and you've got to try and make up for that in other areas. And to be fair, it's quite a unique challenge as well. You can't, rape the gearbox. You can't go down really quick on the gears into corners. You will spin round. You've got to really take it easy and give the car a lot of respect. So in many ways, I like it. It's a very realistic change. But here we go then, currently in practice, and I got underway. And for the first 7, 8, 9 episodes, guys, I'm going to mainly do track acclimatization, race strategy, and qualifying pace. Reason being is because I'm already actually, as I'm speaking right now, I've just finished the Austrian Grand Prix qualifying, and that's because next week I'm going away on holiday, so I need to get ahead on videos. So any feedback or anything is not going to take effect until at least the second half of the season, guys, just to make that very clear. And that goes for practice programs, from now until Austria, more or less. It's going to be just track acclimatization, qualifying pace, and race strategy for now, because I'm kind of short on time and I need to get ahead as much as I can. But nonetheless, though, it should be still enough points. But overall, practice was successful, but we're now going to move into a quick interview after the practice session, just before the qualifying took place.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. It's been a lot of hard work, but here you are making your debut in Formula One. You must be thrilled. So how are you finding things at the team? Are you settling in? What are you expecting out of this season? Are you just aiming to find your feet in Formula One, or do you see something more? Appreciate your time.
Right, so here we go then. We jump into qualifying on Saturday, and the conditions not as nice as practice. Overcast conditions here in Melbourne for qualifying 1, and I'm looking forward to it. The first time in, I want to say almost a year, that I do Q1, Q2 and Q3, which is pretty surprising because I had a glitch in last year's game which stopped me from doing it. So looking forward to it straight away though. We hit the track, and I tried to go on the medium tyres, which is the middle of the 3, and it didn't go too well. Again, that's what I meant by the gearbox. If you go down too quick, you lose the back end, and you can't turn in, so you've got to give the gearbox a lot of respect. You've got to downshift slowly, and you will reap your rewards. Also, by the way, the camera's going to change for the next episode, guys, the offset T-cam, so don't read into it too much. I'm going to move a little bit further back for the next episode. But nonetheless, currently now on my proper lap in Q1. I had to go onto the soft tyres because I was last place and I didn't have a lap to my name, so I had to step it up. And straight away here you can see I'm trying to get a couple of good corners in, a couple of good sectors, and try and set an overall decent benchmark for us in this qualifying session. And to be fair, the AR were quick. Again, they're a little bit of a slippy rear end. Again, I went down the gears too quickly and I lost the back end. So again, like I said, I was trying to get used to it at the time. A bit of an adaptation process, but nonetheless, we go for the final corner, and this lap should be good enough, and we go up to P4. So there we go, pretty decent lap. And no one else is going to mainly improve around us, so we are going to go through into qualifying 2 on that lap. So overall, a good start to qualifying, and avoiding an early jump scare with that mistake we made earlier on in the session. Now we move on to Q2. We're going to run on board for this entire lap because this is the lap that was quickest for me, and also it's the one that we're going to start the race with on these tyres. So straight away through 1 and 2, very, very nice and smooth through. A little bit wide on the exit of 2 as we open up DRS. Now down towards turn 3, you want to go down to 3rd gear, and then 2nd, you want to take time with the gears, have patience to get them down, and then very easy on the power here as well. You know, if you don't run any assist, guys, the traction is going to surprise you this year. It's a lot more aggressive and you can spin the car a lot easier. Also curbs are a lot trickier as well. They bite a lot more this year, so you've got to be careful with those. But you can see here I'm still doing a good job of keeping the car pointing in the right direction, and so far so good as we now make our way through sector 2. And this little tricky right-hander where we made the mistake in Q1. This time no issues there as we get the car rotated, using the curb to really maximise the exit there. A little bit of a tank slap, a little bit of a snappy rear on the exit. There was some oversteer, but overall so good, so far so good as we now go into the far chicane here. A couple of downshifts, throw the car in and let it grip up. You can run really wide there on the exit now onto that curb, which is a big improvement this year. You couldn't do that last year. You'd get invalidated or you lose the back end, but this year you can really lean on that outside curb and feel the grip. And so far so good on this lap as we now go into the final few corners here, keeping it nice and tidy, making sure we don't throw the lap away, as it's been a pretty decent one so far. Little lock up there into the penultimate corner, which I struggled with all weekend, and then the final corner here, just waiting to get the power down, open up DRS, a little bit wide there over the curb, and got the power down a little bit too early, but still a good lap nonetheless. And we're going to jump up to P6, and that should be good enough to get us through into Q3. And we're going to join the big boys in the final part of qualifying there. Sebastian Vettel P3, and currently in Mercedes 1-2, Devon Butler there P2 behind Lewis Hamilton. But overall, a decent session. Now we're going to move into Q3, where we're going to go for 2 runs on the soft compound tyres. And we're going to see if we can try and improve on that position and try and break at least into the top 4. I'm not sure if I've got pace for qualifying. The AI are pretty quick around here, and it's going to be a challenge. I'm currently on 110 AI, so yeah, it's going to be quite tricky as we lose a bit of end plate there in Q3, which was a terrible start to my session.
Mind that front wing. It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage.
It is going to need replacing, to be honest, because I need to get that fixed. But yeah, we started off poorly. The lap was okay, but I just kind of fell asleep on the straight and I didn't realise, and a little bit of a distraction there as we hit the wall. But now we're going to go for our full-on pressing lap with 10 seconds to go. We cross the line, and we're going to be the last ones to set a lap time here. Straight away, turn 1, really throwing the car in there, using the gears to let the car flow through nice and tight this time on the exit, not running too wide. And now you're looking for the 100-metre board as a reference, down towards turn number 3, down to 3rd gear, then later on 2nd to get the rotation. Try and get the power as soon as possible through here. Use the inside curb there, give it a little tap just to get the rotation, and then on the power, flat out through this right, just about let the car run onto the curb. And so far, perfect sector 1 as we now go down a couple of gears for this next right. Use that inside curb, let the car run wide, and gob the gears once again now as we go through this long sweeping right, which feeds into the very awkward off-cambered right hand hairpin here, or not even a hairpin, like a 90-degree corner, and then on the power smoothly through there, taking it easy, and then flat out now as we go onto the back straight. And now you're looking for the turning point into the far chicane. Let's have a listen and see how committed I am. Pretty decent there. Unfortunately, I went down the 5th gear. I had a double downshift. I didn't mean to go 5th there, which cost me a little bit of momentum. But now into the final couple of corners here, a little bit wide there into that next right, and then we get a bit of a oversteer moment there. So at the minute, it's just falling apart. So far, it's been a perfect lap up until the halfway point into the chicane, and then it's kind of falling apart. A little lock up there again. Can we try and sort it out through the final corner here? Trying to get the power down as soon as possible. We run wide again, but this time not so wide. And now up to the line. Do reset a decent lap. And it's going to be P6, I think, for quali.
Okay, that's pretty disappointing, but we can turn it around tomorrow.
Hopefully we can, but yeah, P6 for us in qualifying. And to be fair, the first half of the lap was perfect. And it from the chicane onwards, when I made the mistake to go into the 5th gear, it all fell apart from that point on. It's a shame because I think we could have definitely had a top 4, but still, you can see there the front row is Lewis Hamilton and Sebastian Vettel. 9 World Championships combined there to start off on the front of the Australian Grand Prix. Devon Butler and Lucas Webber in 3rd and 4th, and then we are down in P6. With that being said though, guys, that is your grid and your top 10 for the race tomorrow. But now let's jump into it. It's time for round 1, the Australian Grand Prix.
New drivers, new cars, it's a new Formula One season. but it's the same Albert Park that we've come to know and love for more than 2 decades now that plays host to round 1 of a 21-race championship that takes us from here in Australia across the globe and the eventual season finale at the Yas Island circuit in Abu Dhabi. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. We have plenty of changes to the sport this year, with tweaks to the regulations, a fresh-looking spread of tyre compounds, and of course some changes to the roster of car manufacturers. It's goodbye to Sauber and hello once again to the classic name of Alfa Romeo in Formula 1. It's also goodbye to Force India. They've been rebranded as Racing Point. Joining me to take you through all the action of the 2019 Formula 1 season is Anthony Davidson. And it's great to have you with us.
Thanks, Crofty. Always happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to getting underway. Last year was Mercedes' 5th Constructors' title in a row, although for the first half of the season it was absolutely neck and neck with the Ferraris. Hopefully this year we can see the chasing pack take that final step, as I'd love to see a championship contest all the way up to the final race in Abu Dhabi. Another story to keep an eye on is the performance of Red Bull, who have switched to the Honda power unit this year. What that will mean for both their performance and reliability remains to be seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Butler, Weber, Max Verstappen, Martinez, Perez, Hülkenberg, Ricciardo and Kevin Magnussen, Grosjean, Stroll, Carlos Sainz and Norris, Raikkonen, Kvyat, Alexander Albon and George Russell. Giovinazzi and Robert Kubica takes the last spot on the grid. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right guys, here we are on the grid for round number 1 of the season here today for the Australian Grand Prix here at Melbourne, Australia. We're starting on row 3 alongside Lucas Webber, so we're going to try our best and see what we can do. I think my target at this race is simple. I want to try and at least not finish 6th. The pacing is quite tricky around here. Also, the AI have a little bit more pace than me, so we're going to see how we go. We'll take it lap by lap. Also, my target for this race as we go along is to kind of just stick with the top 5 and kind of remain in Formula A, if that makes sense, and try and stick with the big boys. In terms of the strategy, we are going to go for the first one. I was actually going for this one. The team actually said to me to select this strategy, but I'm going to go for the one stop with the supers, or in this case the softs now, not the supers anymore, the softs onto the hards, and we're going to try and go for the one stop strategy. In terms of fuel, we are 1 lap over on fuel, so hopefully that will do the trick. Originally I was 0.5, but I want a little bit more just to be sure that we'll get to the end. So yeah, with that being said, the intro's over. It's now time to get serious, and it's now time for the opening round of the season here for F1 2019. Let's jump into it. Here we go then. Revs into the sweet spot as the 5 lights come on here in Australia. Lights out and away we go. Not a terrible start, but not a great start. We are going to try and cover the inside into turn 1. 3 wide here, I've just realised. And look at that, Hülkenberg powers through in the Renault. Good move there from him. We're going to go into hot lap mode and overtake, and Rich Mixer try and maybe sit back down the inside here. We have to back out of it there right at the last minute there into turn 3. So Hülkenberg with the quick start in Formula B, if you will, and he gets past us all. We've got a side-by-side Verstappen and Devon Butler here. Hülkenberg slow. We're going to slip through, get on the inside, side-by-side into this next right-hand over between myself and Nico Hülkenberg. We're just going to take the position here as Verstappen and Butler do battle in front of us. What a fiery combination this will be. Butler goes defensive, Verstappen doesn't commit, so Butler will stay in front for now. We're going to get a good exit here. Let's try and get in the slipstream and see how fast this Ferrari can go. Looks like we've got a good straight line speed here as we really gain on Verstappen. We're going to sit back though as we go into the chicane for the first time. Good exit there. We're right on Verstappen's rear wing. Can we get the run here on the Red Bull? We're going to go to the inside on Max Verstappen. He's going to go on the outside here. We're going to take the position though and make the move. So there we go. We're past 1 Red Bull, and now our rival.
That's a good start. Keep it up.
Cheers. Our rival Devon Butler is in front of us here. So we've gained a position after initially losing one to Nico Hülkenberg. So good recovery. Let's see if we can go after Devon Butler now and try and stick with him. Verstappen is right behind us, but look at the straight line speed here. We're actually pulling away from the Red Bull here, the Ferrari. Great straight line speed. Also setup work as well. I'm running relatively low front wing and also rear wing to have better top end speed, because I know that Mercedes has a better power unit, so we need to try and counteract that as best as we can. But so far, so good, and we start this race off very well. A little bit wide there. Verstappen's going to put the pressure on me a little bit here. I'm just struggling to keep up with Devon Butler's pace. Also, Webber's in P3, so the irony that us three F2 graduates, we're battling for a podium here with Webber 3rd, Butler 4th, and myself P5. Verstappen is right on my rear here. I'll tell you, he's not letting me breathe. And now we're starting to show my true pace.
This lap, you can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
DRS enabled. We're showing our true pace though. Like I said before, I think we're struggling here to hold on to top 5 pace and top 6 pace.
Time to the car behind.
I can see that. Cheers, Jeff. Hopefully we can try and make some up on this lap though. Butler is starting to put the pressure on Webber now, so hopefully that will help us out. We can close in as we have a huge tank slapper there. This is all such an adaptation process at the minute. I'm still trying to learn how these cars drive with the increased understeer with the 2019 regulations. So we're still a learning curve for this race. We'll learn a lot from this, I think, as we cut that corner for the first time. First track extension warning of the Grand Prix. I thought that was pretty close, but the game thought it was a penalty, or worth warning that at least. Meanwhile, Butler now really putting the pressure on Webber here. And of course, DRS, I can tell you, it's just so powerful in this, even from practice and qualifying. DRS makes a huge difference. So I think Butler's going to get past very shortly and make a move for P3, I think. Oh, that's wide. Verstappen will have DRS on me. DRS is effective, but we've got good straight line speed, as we say, our personal best. And there you go, Butler and Webber going at it for P3. Let's try and close in on that battle if we can. They are side by side, and Butler's going to take it. What a move. Webber's still there though.
In first place.
Oh, that's close. Former rivals collide. Butler does get the move done though, but we are going to close the gap completely here. And we're now right on the rear of Webber, getting a nice toe, but he's got a nice toe on Butler. Right on the outside here, a little bit wide there, but we're going to get it done. What a move. We get past my former teammate. Let's not drop back too far. I want to try and get DRS off of Butler if we can. Into the chicane. Easy does it. Let's not lose the rear, shall we? Second track extension warning in the Grand Prix. One more. We've got a penalty coming our way, so we're going to have to be extra careful now for the rest of the race. I need to be slower through the first of the 2 in the chicane. The left hand I need to be slower through there to open up the right, and then I'll be okay. I'm carrying too much speed as if we were qualifying. But we're being aggressive here, and I like it. We're P4 behind our arch rival, Devon Butler. At the minute, we've got a nice little gap to Verstappen here. We're just pulling away a little bit. Butler is pulling away from me as well.
The car in front is 1.5 seconds.
But having said that, we're looking good. I've rearranged my driving style a bit, so we look more conservative now, so we can avoid getting that penalty and try and be smooth. Hamilton leads the way though, and Vettel's trying to keep him honest, but it does feel like the Mercedes, even though we're in theory the faster car, it feels like the Mercs have a little bit more of an edge than us. Okay, I think Lucas Webber's pit in, so
We want to pit this lap, so push now.
Lucas Webber comes in. Looks like we're going to be next this lap. We're going to come in for our one-stop strategy onto the hards.
Behind is gaining on you by 5/10 a lap.
Yeah, Verstappen is getting the hammer down a little bit, I've just noticed. We have to be careful here, but let's have a strong in-lap if we can, although my tyres do feel pretty knackered. Well, the Verstappen's putting the pressure on here big time, so we're going to pit in this lap, turn it down to low fuel mode, and also turn off the ERS deployment. If we're here, we don't really need it. Try and start saving as much as we can. Let's see if anyone else comes to the pit lane with us. Looks like no one at the moment as we go into the pit lane. Butler stays out, as does Verstappen, as does Vettel, as does Lewis. Get it all slowed down. There we go to the 60. That's a good entry. So we're going to have a free pit lane, which is good. No traffic. Come on. 3.6. Very slow on the release though. I'm not sure what happened there, but a very, very average pit stop with a slow release. In the end, we're going to lose a bit of time. There's quite a bit of traffic here. Look at these 5 cars, 6 cars, 7 cars. This ain't going to help me at all. And looks like Webber's at the back of it.
These tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
This is going to be close with Lucas Webber and Robert Kubica into turn 1. Kubica we keep him behind. And we just rejoin in front of Lucas Webber, who I'm presuming is 2-stopping. So we managed to stay in front of him, which is good. But now we are on the harder compound, and we're not going to be able. It's going to be hard to avoid the Verstappen overcut because Max is going to not have any traffic. We've got a lot of traffic here, but I can already feel the difference in the tyres. Plenty more grip on these, so let's get to work and let's try and stay in front of Verstappen. Worst thing is all these guys ain't going to pit in, so we're going to have to do it all on track. Starting off with Danny Kvyat, we're going to get the toe here on the Toro Rosso. We're going to get to the inside. Kind of the inside there, job done. And I believe Kubica is still in front of Webber.
You made it look easy.
Cheers, Jeff. Although I think Webber's just got past Kubica now, so there we go. Now behind Giovinazzi and Alexander Albon here. Let's try and have a good final corner. On the power, there we go. Right, let's burn her up. Let's try and get this double overtake sorted out. Cars in the pit lane. Giovinazzi we're going to go to the inside of. Show him a little bit higher up on the racetrack. We're going to take the inside. And now can we get Alexander Albon as well? He's got no DRS, so it should be fairly simple to get past. Down the inside.
Some information on Stroll. They have an issue with their car. They're going to be slow.
Okay, so Lance Stroll with an issue with his racing point has been out to P12. Beautiful move there on Albon as we run a little bit wide. For a second I held my breath out. I thought that could have been a penalty coming my way for track extending, but luckily he wasn't going fast enough. I had to get off the gas quite a bit. But with P12 those are some very smooth and effective overtakes. Now is Kimi Räikkönen the next one. Looks like we've got Nico Hülkenberg in the pit lane, so that's the first of the Renaults, I think. Yeah, there he goes onto the hard tyres, like myself.
Guys moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
Alright then, so we're closing down on Räikkönen. We've got another pack of cars to get by. Pace has been good. Verstappen still hasn't pit yet, so I wonder if Verstappen's going to go soft medium and try and drag out those softs. If he does, then fair play, he's going to be very quick at the end on those medium tyres. So kind of hoping I do come out in front of him, because if I don't, then there's no chance of us beating Verstappen today. Anyway, back to the action. Putting the pressure on Kimi now. I reckon we'll get a run here. Nice bit of traction there. Nice toe. Same power unit in both of these cars. Down the inside. It's a late move, but we're going to take it. A little bit rash on the brakes, but we've got it done. Had to get it done there to not waste no time. Let's try and get within DRS of the McLaren as well if we can.
Sebastian is in the pits.
Seb pits in as we get DRS on Lando Norris here. Look how powerful the toe is. We're going to really gain on Lando here. And the inside. That was a late call. I thought I was going to lose my front wing. That was a risky move. But we're making these moves because we've got to make progress here. Lance Stroll now is holding up signs. Of course, he's got trouble, as we heard on the radio before, with his car. And look at that. They get out of my way. And Stroll, who's the one with the damaged car, is going to remain. So here we go. This should be a simple move. Verstappen's leaving the pit lane now. So here we go. It's going to be very close. There he is. 3 wide here. Around the outside of Lance Stroll at turn 1. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. And we stay in front of Verstappen just, but Max is surely on the medium tyres. So it's going to be a challenge now to keep Max Verstappen behind us. But we have got past and we've stayed in front, even with all that traffic and all those overtakes. Some big moves had to be made there, and we took the risk and it paid off. And I mean, Max is stuck behind Stroll here, and also Perez as well. Just realised, I think he's behind Sergio Perez. So that's good news. He's got 2 cars to get past. So not never mind. There you go. He just got past Stroll. So there we go. That's the gap we have to Verstappen. Now we've got to try and keep it. There we go. Devon Butler's in the pit lane. He's also going for the soft medium here today. So let's see if we can come out in front of him as well and try and keep him behind us. Hopefully.
The car behind has boxed for the mediums. Car behind on the medium tyre.
Hopefully Verstappen will come out in front. No, he doesn't. So Butler's going to stay in front, although Verstappen's going to be right on his rear end now, racing down towards turn 3. So hopefully Max can get in front and those two have a nice little battle. But we're currently P3 in this race and we're looking good for a podium here. So this would be great. A 2-3 for us in Ferrari. That'd be a fantastic result. Let's try and bring it home though. Butler's already chasing me down and he's dragging Verstappen with him. It's going to be very tough to keep both of these guys behind on this hard tyre, but we'll give it a go. I'm trying to save as much ERS as I can before Butler catches me up.
Some information on Butler. They seem to have an issue.
Ooh. Okay. Devon Butler with car trouble. This is interesting. That's going to stunt his progress. He's getting very close here, but he won't commit to a move, surely not into the chicane. And there we go, we stay in front. That's going to help Verstappen. Sorry, it's going to help me. It's going to cost Verstappen now, so we've got a chance here to pull away a little bit more and pull out the gap while Butler starts to struggle. And look at that, the irony. he talked so much shit to me in F2, and look what happened in the first race. He's doing Mercedes, and he's got reliability trouble. Would you believe it? Let's try and open up a gap again, and try and hold on to this third place as long as we can. I feel a lot more...
Increase ERS deployment. It's time to use some of this charge.
Yeah, don't worry, I'm on it, mate. I feel a lot more confident. Look at that defending there. Butler defending hard against Verstappen. I feel a lot more confident defending from Verstappen than I do from Butler. As they're doing side by side here, but I think, yeah, they're still side by side. I think Butler's got DRS from me, so he's still managing to hold on, but Verstappen has got the move done. Let's get our head down though and keep pushing. We've got plenty of DRS as well, which is good. I'm driving at a good pace here. I'm able to keep Verstappen behind without any major dramas. And I keep my driving nice and clean, because obviously we're still on that second warning and I'm close to a penalty, so I'm just trying to drive smoothly. I'm trying to forget that he's behind me and just trying to do my own thing and try and be consistent, make my car nice and wide as well. And so far it's working okay for us. Okay, this is the closest Verstappen's been. I'm going to have to turn up the engine here to go defensive. Turn 1. Side by side lock up from us there, but we're going to hold the inside line and keep Max behind us for at least another lap. Ooh, a little bit wide there. Just carried too much speed to the first one. Luckily though, it's a good exit nonetheless, and Verstappen's nowhere near me on this DRS zone. My pace was dropping off, but I can feel my pace picking up again. I think I can notice the fuel starting to really drop off the car now, and as a consequence, far more pace. We're going to have to turn the engine here to stay in front. There we go.
Pretty much burned off our excess fuel. We'll be back on target soon. Don't wait too long to turn the engine down.
Don't worry, Jeff. I've got it under control, mate. I'm okay at the moment. We're keeping Verstappen behind. Tyre's looking good. 30% on the left rear. So say, you know, we've been on these tyres since lap 8. We've been on these tyres 10 laps. We've got another 10 to go. We'll be pushing the 60% barrier pretty much coming in the race. That's not too bad. So all in all, the hard tyres doing a good job, and I think this was the better strategy. Oh, that's not a good exit. We're going to have to crank her up here to make sure we keep Verstappen behind.
The gap to the car ahead is 15.8 seconds.
There we go, that's enough. We've got too much straight line speed for Verstappen. Just when he starts to pull me in, I turn up the engine and actually start to pull away, so we're comfortable here, this is okay. Managed to find a little bit of pace this lap, and I'm on for 2 personal best sectors. And we're actually shaking off Verstappen a little bit here, but this is where I lose a little bit of time compared to Verstappen. This corner especially. Just can't seem to carry a lot of speed through there. But having said that, a better lap nonetheless from me there, and we're taking the pressure off a little bit. I won't have to turn up the engine for this straight. And there we go, personal best into the 125s. Good lap.
Some information on Albon. They're retiring from the race.
There we go then, first retirement. Alex Albon in the Toro Rosso out of the Grand Prix. Will there be a VSC or a safety car as a consequence in the first race? It seems like there won't be, as probably would have been triggered by now, as my guess. So nothing just yet. Max is close here. I was trying to save some ERS because I was quite low. I'm going to have to actually use it.
Gap to car in front is 16.5 seconds.
ERS is starting to get very low now. I'm going to have to try and find a way to save some in a minute without conceding position to Verstappen. Okay, I managed to save some ERS, back up to 75%-ish. That's fine by me. That should be enough now to get us to the end in medium mode. Keeping it nice and clean as well, making sure I make no mistakes. Like I said, we're still on 2 warnings. So one was a slam dunk penalty, and we give up a podium position, so... Oh, that's a big lock up. Still though, we're okay. Lock-ups are a lot more visual in this game than they are effective. You can still get the car slowed down and turn in. But we're comfortable here, we're keeping Verstappen behind.
Is dropping back by about 3/10 a lap.
And my pace is good, I'm still kind of matching my personal best when I need to, so we're looking good. I think we've got this podium wrapped up as long as we don't make any mistakes.
Some information on Giovinazzi. They've got a serious car issue. It looks like they're retiring.
Second retirement of the race, Antonio Giovinazzi, also a rookie this season in the Alfa Romeo, so he's out, so we're down to 18 runners now. Ooh.
We have 2 laps of fuel remaining.
Nice little drift there. Luckily we don't lose too much time. Verstappen is still a bit too far away. 2 to go. We're getting there. Also Vettel, I believe, is right up behind Hamilton at the minute. He's really putting him under serious pressure. I just saw a glimpse of the minimap. We'll try and confirm it later on in the lap. Ooh, top left. There we go. Vettel's past Hamilton, I think. Hamilton will score the extra point with the fastest lap.
The gap to the car ahead is 15.7 seconds.
But yeah, Seb has passed Lewis. Look at the mini-map on the just on the bottom right of the map there. You can see Vettel's in front of Hamilton, going on to the last lap of the Grand Prix. Come on, Seb, let's get that win. Looks like Verstappen's run out of tyres now. He's barely challenging me anymore now. And the hard tyre was the way to go. Very happy with the strategy. The one stopper was the way to go. Let them burn out their tyres. Also, I think Hamilton has lost the race because he's got car trouble. There was no message on the radio, but he slowed right down, and I'm catching him a sector almost, and Vettel's opened up a big gap. So I wonder if reliability has struck both Mercedes this race. Vettel wins in Australia though for Ferrari, so it's a great way to kick off the season. Here we go then, through the final corner, Verstappen behind us, but relatively unchallenged. And here we go then, a little bit of lag there, but we went up to the finish line. Grazie ragazzi, Forza Ferrari, P3 for us on the podium. Bravo, bravissimo, grande lavoro.
Mate, really well done. That was a fantastic drive.
Grazie a tutti, grazie.
So, another excellent win from Ferrari. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Ferrari are at it again, an excellent performance at today's Grand Prix, and they're certainly a team that know what they're doing out there.
Right, so there we have the final race results. Sebastian Vettel wins the opener in Australia. My gut tells me Lewis Hamilton had issues, and that's what gave him the win. But you know what? That's the way it goes. And both Mercedes today with reliability issues, which is something I never thought I'd say. We come home P3. Hamilton splits both of the Ferraris, but a double podium for us, and a great race for me. I did not expect the podium, considering I started from P6 and didn't really have the pace. So for me, a really, really good result, and I'll take that with both hands, and I've got no complaints. We managed to defend Verstappen and held him off, which is great. And Sergio Perez there, P5, what a performance for him in the Racing Point. Lucas Webber, P6 in the Red Bull, and Devon Butler, I need to get used to saying that, in P7 then. He also had reliability issues in his Mercedes, so very poor day for the Silver Arrows. And then we've got Hulkenberg, Ricciardo and Grosjean rounding out the top 10, and Sainz missing out there on the points in P11. But all in all, that is your top 10 here today. And in terms of the standings, of course, the drivers will be exactly the same as the race results, and we are 1 and 3. But in terms of the constructors, we lead the way with 40 points, 15 clear of Mercedes, straight off the bat, putting the pressure on the Silver Arrows and letting them know that Ferrari are here this year, and we're not messing around. And also, I'm here, and I'm not messing around. I'm sending a clear message to Devon Butler that F2 was just a fluke, but this time it's serious and the gloves are off. But as you can see, those are the standings, and all in all, a good day's work. But we're now going to move into the laptop and put on the first upgrades onto this prancing horse.
You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? Everything went your way today. It looked like you had a really good strategy for the race. You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip? Great. Well, that's everything.
Okay, so here we are then on the R&D tree, and we have 2,637 points to spend. So straight away, we're going to go to the obvious place, and that is the engine, because we are lacking a little bit. I'm going to get the first engine upgrade, which is going to be a minor one. It's actually going to take 2 weeks to arrive, so we're going to get that on there. Also, durability is key, so we're going to get the general maintenance straight away to kick things off and hopefully improve the reliability of the car. And then along with that, I think I want to go... I'm kind of feeling the department upgrades, but they're 1,000. Wow, 1,000 for efficiency. Wow. Quality control maybe 500. We'll go. For now, we'll go one of each. You know what? We'll go one of each for now, and hope that a couple arrive. One of them might fail, but we'll try and get them all in the car. So we still have 697 points to spend. So what we'll do is we'll save those points for the next episode, I think, just in case. So yeah, guys, that's going to be in terms of the upgrades. Now, another thing I want to mention is the classic events. Now, in this year's game, drivers / rivals actually attend the classic events. In this case, Vettel was attending this event here in in Britain, in the McLaren. So let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do them. This should be pre-recorded actually, so I will take this into account from about the midway point of the season onwards, to be honest. So yeah, bear that in mind. But yeah, we've got the classic events. I might attend it. I'll see. I might do it off air. Like, I'll do it, but I won't do it recorded. But yeah, guys, hopefully nonetheless you enjoyed this video, and this is it for episode number 1, or episode 2 in terms of career mode, but race 1 is what I wanted to say of career mode here today. And I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did enjoy it, then drop a like, guys, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and turn on notifications to not miss a video from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you on my next episode very soon. But until then, it's goodbye from me.